We don't practice because someone makes us practice. We don't practice for fame or glory. We don't practice to impress anyone or make us feel better about ourselves. We certainly don't practice for money. We practice because we yearn to connect to the ancestors that built this. Connect to the modern geniuses that inspire us. Connect to our city and our scene and the listeners in the back of the room. But mostly we want to connect to that spark that lives deep within all of us. That spark that wants to be fire. We practice every day to clear a path for that spark. Let's practice together. Welcome to the Daily Guided Practice Session. Let's start with our chromatic scale, 88 beats per minute. Let's get to work. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Friday, y'all. Good to be here with you, per usual. We'll just give it a couple minutes as the room fills up. Let me know where you are today, what's going on with you. We're practicing a very cool Brad Mehldau lick. Got my overhead cam there on the mic stand. I got this logo here, just in case we don't want to look at that. Look at that, Open Studio logo. We do practice every day. We practice every day with our guided practice studio. That's our daily guided practice session. Where just every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can practice with me in our amazing group live, or you can practice later on the app. I just uploaded today's session to the app. It's $10. It's easy. It's a lot of fun. It helps keep you motivated, and we give you lots and lots of ideas, and you get access to the archive of now 154 as of today and counting every day. So go check that out. We'll put a link here in the chat in case you want to investigate further. But we also do this a couple times a week on YouTube because we like to check in with y'all. There's the link. Go check out the Guided Practice Studio. That includes the app to the guided practice sessions. So yeah. Double dipping. There's some people here from the daily guided practice session. Noriko, Danny, who else we got in here? Tourtog. A lot of folks double dip. They come to our behind the paywall in Zoom, and then they come to our front facing. Thank you all. Just great to spend some time with some folks that I don't see every single day, 24 hours a day at this point, right? Even if it's just through some comments. We'll just give it another couple minutes. We'll start at about 5 after, maybe 6 after. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where you are. Oh, see, here we go. Patrick joined for the first time on Wednesday, and he thinks he's hooked. Yao Ming is double dipping. Yeah. Good to see y'all. We're practicing just really an insanely cool Brad Mehldau lick. It's from his solo on Solar from Art of the Trio Volume 4, Live at the Village Vanguard. One of my favorite Brad Mehldau records. Very influential on young Adam when I was just learning how to do this stuff. So I thought it would be really cool. This one place that I picked, just a small phrase, but it had so much Bradness. It's so Meldauian in character that I thought it would be a great representation to work on some stuff that Brad's so good at. So cool, y'all. We're looking pretty good. Got some people in. What's up, Cecil? Yeah. I think I'm good. Up to my piano game. Oh, for our members too. If you are a member of the Piano Access Pass or the All Access Pass, yesterday we had a masterclass with the amazing Fred Hirsch. It was one of the greatest masterclasses I've ever been to. And that video is now up on the site. So you can go find that on your dashboard. That'll be up until Sunday evening. And go do that. There's some PDFs you can download as well. So go check that out. Fred Hirsch was amazingly human and inspiring and had such practical but I think really inspirational advice. I don't know a better way to say that. But yeah, it was like I said, it might be the best masterclass I've ever attended, and it was on Zoom, and it was just so well attended, and such great questions, and thanks everybody who came through. So nice. Bruce says, I'm a simple man. I see Brad, I click. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I think all of those musicians or artists, or even, just whatever, athletes, actors that you were into in your like first rung of getting into things, right? So like in your first discovery of jazz or what this is. And like for me, Brad Mehldau was a huge part of that. And I'll always have a soft spot, I think, for especially this record and the records all around it. Yeah, again, for our Open Studio members, you can check out that Fred Hirsch masterclass until Sunday evening. And if you're not a member, if you want to join the Piano Access Pass or the All Access Pass before Sunday, you can do that for sure and check it out. So, but anyway, too, if you want to do some more guided practice sessions, check out the new guided practice studio. That includes the daily guided practice session and the guided practice app. Daily guided practice session. We do a 25 to 45 minute practice session every single day. So come check us out. Lots of stuff to work on. All right, y'all. Ooh, St. Louis OG. I like it. Let's get to work, huh? Welcome to the daily guided practice session. Oh, it's not even a daily. Welcome to this day's guided practice session. My name is Adam Maness. I'm having a hard time talking, but hopefully I don't have a hard time playing. We're going to be working on a super cool lick from, it's not even a lick. It's just a bit of playing from Brad Mehldau from his solo in Solar, which is from his album Art of the Trio Volume 4, Live at the Village Vanguard. One of his greatest, I think, and probably one of the great live jazz albums from the 90s, I would say, in my opinion. And I think it's one of his greatest solos, too. It's just a really beautiful thematic solo. And there's one section in here that caught my ear this week, and I was like, oh, we should do that. Because it's just so Mehldawian in character and texture that I thought we should absolutely try it. So here it is. It only happens over the course of a couple bars, but it contains so much Bradness that I thought we could kind of analyze it a little bit and then see if we can use the way Brad approaches these techniques to work it into our own practice. This is over Solar. So here, the first bar you see there is actually bar 2, right? It starts on C minor, but we don't really even need to know that. All we really need to know is that we're there in the bar 3, which is a 2-5-1 to F major 7, right? Solar starts 2 bars of C minor, and then 2-5 to F, then 2-5 to E flat, which we see here at the end of our phrase, and then E flat major 7, 2-5 to D flat major 7, and then we're back to the top. It's 12 bars. It's kind of a altered blues form. So what's going on here? What does this sound like, first of all? So I'll play it really slowly because I actually can't. I'm not sure how he's fingering this because it is tough. So let's hear how it sounds. Did you get that? Probably not. So in context, it's happening very fast, right? You can kind of hear the Mehldawian. I'm going to stop using that word. So what the hell is going on here, and why does this sound so out and super hip? So you can just imagine. I mean, these chords are not what he's playing either. I'm just trying to put the original harmony under what's playing. This is a section where he takes it out. So what I really want to focus on today is how is he taking it out? What tools is he using? What melodic devices is he using to actually take it outside the changes? I have some notes here already that you might see, and this is what we're really going to work on. Let's just listen to it again, though. I encourage you to listen to this on the actual track to hear Brad play it in context. It happens at about 7 minutes and 14 seconds into the track. Well into a solo, maybe like the 3/4 mark of this solo. So everything has been kind of building. This is a solo where he builds around the 9 for like a long time, and he keeps going back to that. But then again, okay, so what is this? Let's try it again. Like I said, it's hard to play. I'm not sure how he fingers it actually on the recording, but we're not going to really practice this lick per se. What I want to do is break it down and then try to practice the way I think he's thinking about superimposing some different tonality over what is really a basic 2-5-1 to F and then a 2-5-1 to E flat. We don't resolve to E flat here, but you see the F minor 7, B flat 7, right? That's a 2-5 to E flat. So what I want to do is just figure out what is Brad Mehldau doing here to get that out sound. What is going on? Okay, so let's break it down. So we have our G minor 7 to C7 to F7. So on that G minor 7, the first thing he does, he's on this C, right? And then there's this B triad. We could also maybe consider this a C diminished, but if we're really breaking it down, I'm thinking he's considering this a B triad, right? And then you see here there's a B flat minor triad mixed in here. So what I really am taking away from this, though, is that he's thinking about this as C7. Both measures, G minor 7 and C7, he's thinking about as C7. And I think he's like superimposing this B triad. If you look at all of the notes, it's both C7 and, for the most part, it's both a C7, like a C mixolydian, and a B major scale with a lot of leanings on a triad. There's this B flat minor triad that's obviously like a chromatic thing as he's going down to the next section. But I think he's kind of drawing from this idea of, you start on C minor and then the 2 is part of the 5. So this G minor is really, we can think about it as C7. And I think he's slipping down into some B major, right? That kind of idea, right? Where you're like, this is a thing you hear in Brad Mehldau's playing all the time. And then he does a little chromatic thing there. That's the first principle. And that's the one thing that I think we're going to start with is when we play this, if there's a dominant 7 chord or even in a 2-5, the entire 2-5 we're going to consider to be just the 5. And I want to work on, and this is just for me, this is what I want to work on today. I want to work on going between that dominant 7 sound, just a straight up, like here, C7, and throwing in some B major-ish things, right? Mostly triad related. It's the easiest way. So if you're, again, on just a C7, just throwing in that little triad here and there. That's all I want to work on. We don't have to get super into the weeds breaking down every single turn that he does here, because I don't think he's thinking that much about it. I think it's very much a feel thing after a while of working on slipping in and out of this kind of thing. So again, we're going to be on all our 2-5s. We're going to be thinking, first of all, just 5, right? It's a 5 for the 2 bar. And then we're going to be thinking about slipping from just that regular C7 and incorporating some B major-ish things, usually around the triad on there. Okay, that's number one. That's the first thing that I noticed. The second thing is just super hip here in our second stanza over the F major 7. So those 2 bars over F major 7, What is he doing here? I think, just based on his note choices and knowing how he likes to phrase some things, I think he's thinking mostly F sharp minor 7 here. And this makes sense because if you look there in bar 3 of the second stanza, it's F minor 7. So he's doing a little half step. Instead of F major 7, he's superimposing over that whole F major 7 an F sharp minor 7 sound so that he can slip right down a half step. Back inside the changes to our F minor 7. So this is also something that's not that uncommon. So between the two of these things, though, we get this really... whoa, and then check it out. Look at how he ends this phrase. Back on that F minor 7. Like a completely inside the changes phrase over F minor 7. He outlines an F minor 9 chord and then literally just ends on a 3 tonic of that B flat, right? So, isn't that awesome? So we have here, just thinking about again, taking that 2-5-1, any 2-5 actually, and just thinking about it as a 5. That'll be the first thing. By the way, doing this, thinking about 2 5s as simply 5s, is a great way to simplify how we think about it when we improvise so that we're not thinking about so many chords, especially when they move as fast as this one does on the recording. So we think about it as a 5 for both of those bars, and we start superimposing some harmony from the major triad-ish kind of sounds a half step down from, in this case, C7, we're going to think about B triad. I have that B flat minor triad in there because he does do that. So, but I don't know. I kind of want to simplify the way I'm going to practice this today. Then the other thing we can do is anytime we lead to a 2-5-1, we can sort of superimpose this half step above, right? So if we're going to F minor 7 here, for the entire 2 bars leading up, we're going to superimpose F sharp minor. So we get a nice sound that's like this. Now the bass player might be playing F major that whole time, but I do think that Brad is thinking we're sliding from F sharp minor 7 down to, it's a way to anticipate that F sharp minor 7. I mean, maybe he's thinking it's a major third away, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's more thinking ahead. So yeah. And then we end there on just a straight up in the, and yeah, that last note here I see now in the graphic, it should have a flat on that B flat. It is a B flat. It's the hardest thing for me to see is when I have to make these things and I put the chord change that says B flat and then there's a B. I just assume it's flat. It's a trickery. It's trickery on my brains. So okay, so that's that. How do we practice this? What do we do? Well, we're not going to actually practice this lick. We're going to practice, like I said, the concepts behind it. Well, what are those concepts? Well, they're these concepts. So here's the entire form of solar, right? C minor 7. And so down there in some text below our changes, I have some things that we can superimpose. Now, you wouldn't necessarily want to put all of these every time, right? What we want to do is just practice going through this slowly and practice picking and choosing some of these. And I'll direct you. I'll tell you exactly which ones maybe to start with, and then we'll start freeing it up so that you can just kind of start incorporating these on their own. So if you see here, let's just start with our 2 5s, right? So we have 3 2 5s in the entire tune. Actually 4, but really 3 2 major chords here. So that first one, right, is in bar 3, G minor 7 to C7. So for that, I have underneath written C7 and B triad because I want you to think of, for those whole 2 bars, a C mixolydian scale and then adding in some B triadish sounds. You have to sell this. You're going to go outside the changes. You're going to slip out. So you might think of some kind of, as Brad was, he did some that kind of work, right? Where you're kind of making some shapes that are a theme. So you might try repeating that shape, but from C7 to like a B major-ish kind of thing. And then that happens again on the next 2/5, right? On F minor 7, I want you to think of B flat 7 and A triad. So instead of, and this is just an experiment, as Fred Hirsch said yesterday. This is just an experiment of how can we work at this to try to get it in a natural way. So instead of thinking some kind of F minor 7, B flat 7, I just want you to think those two bars, B flat 7 mixing in A triad. You want to go back and forth between the two of those. Really is. It gets that sound really quickly. And then you could do the same thing there at E flat minor 7 to A flat 7. You could do A flat 7 to a G triad. All right, let's try it, shall we? Let's just go a nice easy tempo. So again, for this time through, I'll play some bass. I'll let you have the chords. I won't even play some chords. I'll let you have the chords so that you can, if you want to superimpose that harmony, you can. But let's just start. I want you to restrict yourself to just dealing with what we have on those 2/5s. And really just if you want to do the first 2/5s, the longer 2/5s, the G minor 7 to C7, and just think about that for the two bars. My only options are that C7 or a C mixolydian and a B triad, mixing it in with amongst the C7. And then for the F minor 7 to B flat 7 in the second stanza, thinking about it as just B flat 7 mixing in that A triad. Okay, let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and do it again. Let's do a couple more. One more. There it is. Okay, so that's just our first jump off into this sound. It is that sound, right? So if I were to try this, I would just experiment again with going on all those 2/5s between those C7s and like the triad-ish. I say triad-ish because I really want to try to restrict myself, not just do B major scale, but really a shape. So if I were to play this whole thing, 2, 3, and That's literally just throwing in a couple of those triads a half step below, not thinking about trying to do too much more than that. And really, that's what I want you to think about, is not trying to do too much. See what you can do with just these concepts. Okay, let's do the other concept of this. Before we get going, though, don't forget to, if you want to practice with us every day, we practice every day over at the Guided Practice Studio. It's $10 to start. You can check it out. Here we'll put a link, link in the description, link in the chat. So go check that out. My cat is loudly meowing. I think she's stuck somewhere. All right, I might have to bail to rescue a cat here in a second, but check out that link, the joys of being live, you know what I'm saying? And then also, hey, if you're finding this helpful, why not give us a like? Give it a like, give us a little subscribe on our channel. It helps us know what you're digging, what you want to practice. So if you find this kind of stuff helpful, like the video right there, and we'll know that it's working. Okay, so let's get to the next way we can do it. I want to break this up as much as possible, and then just kind of let you be free with it. So the next way to do it is by imposing a half step above any of the two chords, right? So you wouldn't want to mix these together too much, but say, you know, we have in bar 3 there a G minor 7, right? So instead of the C minor 7, we can superimpose a half step above bar 3, that A flat minor 7. Woo. So it gets us a nice way to go from, to go to those two chords. And we can do that anytime we see one of those tonic chords. So our C minor is a tonic chord. So instead of C minor, we can anticipate that, okay, we're going to go to G minor 7. Instead of C minor, this whole time, I'm just going to play A flat 7. Same thing on F major 7. Instead of F major 7, we know that on bar 3 of that phrase, we're going to go to F minor 7. So we could just start our phrase a half step up of that goal. Same thing in our next phrase. Instead of E flat minor 7, we know that bar 2 of that phrase, we're going to E flat minor. So we could just start our phrase on E minor. It's an easy way. I mean, there's really not a lot of thought to this. If I were to do this again, 2, 1, 2, 3, you hear it so easily. Here's again. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to get fancy when you're doing these things. You just have to outline what's happening. The fanciness is the choice. So you can be very, very simple. Again, I might have been playing too complicated there. You could probably just break it down. Oh, that's way better. Being simple on the superimposition. Man, that's some nice stuff there. So see if you can do just these tonic chords, right? The C minor 7, the F major 7, and the E flat major 7. See if you can do what I have written underneath there, superimposing A flat minor, F sharp minor, and E minor underneath. I'll play the bass line. It's going to sound funky, right? But you are resolving to something that will be very inside. So when you get to that G minor 7, it's all going to like come together. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Okay. That's it, man. That right there. I think that's such a cool way to approach this. And again, that's really the way we just did it, how we split these up like that. That's the key to this, I think. It's not to try to do all of these all the time, but really try to feel where you want to go with this and start practicing it by start practicing simply. Okay, let's do one more play along. Let's just do a sort of free version of this where you choose. And I want you to be, again, just be very conservative about where you put these in. Like maybe most of the chorus is through. You just do it one time. You do it to one of the changes. Don't do it, every single one, but just pick your spots, right? So mostly you're just playing inside. And then occasionally you might take it out. Remember, you can be simple with it. It does the work for you. All right, I'm getting way too complicated already. Let's try it. I'll play the bass. You play whatever you want, but using these as guidelines. Let's try it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Last chorus. Woo. All right. Isn't that great? That's just an easy way to get that sound that Brad Mehldau has made so famous. And It's really fun, I think, to take just a bit of language and try to break down what exactly is it that we love about it, and how can we start practicing that, experimenting with those sounds. And this is an easy way to do it. I think it gets very complicated. Like it gets complicated in our minds. Like, oh, we have to play out and we have to do these things. And maybe we have to do all these like triadic, chromatic things. That's one option. But also we can just play simply and just overlay another chord over what we already have. And it kind of makes everything happen for us. We just have to think melodically. And I think it really works well. So thank you for your work today. Again, check out the Guided Practice Studio if you want to do this every day with us. We're having a good time. Starts at just $10. Check that out there. If you're an Open Studio member already, don't forget to check out the Fred Hirsch Masterclass that we had live yesterday. It is going to be up on your dashboard until Sunday. We're going to try to do one of those a month with various big artists. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we have some big names we're talking about. So cool. Thanks, y'all. Again, check out that link in the description. Give us a like and a subscribe if you like this stuff. It helps us know what it is you actually want to see us teach here at Open Studio. So appreciate it. I'll hit up the chat now to see if there's any questions. Oh, you guys are on it. Look at this chat. That's right, Nils. That's right. Indeed. Jazzman 1945 iffy says, Adam, what part of your arm do your accents come from? That's a good question. Part of my arm. I don't know. I'd have to accent and think about it. Atomic Hullabaloo. Ew, band says, very hip sound, reminds me of Teddy Wilson playing a B natural triad over an E triad over E flat 7 in Tiger Rag. Sort of, whoa, what was that? Yeah, then back inside. Yep. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everybody. This was a fun one. So Tuesday, we'll be back live here on YouTube. Peter Martin's going to do a live jazz piano method, so don't miss that. Thanks, Noriko. Thanks for joining me. Thanks, Nicole. Super fun. Thanks, Suzanne. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go see if I can find my cat. All I hear is loud meowing. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Take care.